Hey friends, welcome to your embodied flow. These classes are between 20 and 40 minutes. They're kind of mellow, kind of stretchy, somewhere between a vinyasa structure class and a restorative yin practice. So we'll just find what feels good. I am currently 3 weeks postpartum, so if you are in the same boat, please take this class very gently. Use props. If something ever doesn't feel right, I would say back off. Ask your doctor before participating. If you're not postpartum or recently postpartum, feel free to take these stretches or movements even greater or more intensely. So just meet yourself where you are. I'm going to be using a couple props, a bolster and 2 blocks. So feel free to grab that. And we're gonna get started in a modified puppy pose. If you wanna take full puppy, please do. That just feels like a little too aggressive of a stretch for me right now. So I'm gonna stack my hips over my knees towards the back of the mat. And then you can either come down to your forearms like this, or again, if you wanna take the full version, you can stretch your arms out straight and really melt your heart down to the mat. Take a few breaths just to arrive into your body, into this space. Notice how you feel today, physically, mentally, and in the heart space as well. Feel free to close your eyes if that helps you ground and center here. And then feel your breath make its way all the way down your spine, through the back of your throat, the back body, down into your belly. And exhale, release. If it feels good, you can start to take some little shoulder circles going in a clockwise direction. So this will open through the shoulders, but also a little bit through the hips. Smaller circles is less intense, bigger circles is more intense. And then you can switch the direction of your circles. Finish up here. If it feels good for you to continue to do that, stay there. If you want, you can start to take just a little bit of a rock back into your hips. So you're straightening your elbows more, pushing your forearms forward. Maybe you just move with your breath here a couple times. So it's almost like moving towards like a modified plank as you shift forward, and then more towards that puppy pose or child's pose as you sink back. One more breath here, and then go ahead and prop up onto your hands so you come into a tabletop shape. All 4 limbs are meeting the mat. We're gonna move through some thread the needle. So you can plant down through your left palm. Inhale to sweep your right hand high. And exhale, we're gonna dive our right arm underneath our left shoulder and lower our right ear down towards the mat. You might not make it all the way. I'm not gonna really push this stretch today. Inhale to open up. Exhale, thread the needle, turn towards the left. Inhale to reach high. And this last one we'll hold wherever we are. Finding a nice twist through the thoracic spine. So make sure your pelvis is pretty square. And we're twisting from above the belly button. Should feel really good on the back of the right shoulder, through the back of the heart. Take some deeper breaths here. And if you don't want to lower all the way down to your ear, like I am not doing, you can just rest your right forearm down. Full cycle of breath. Good, come back through center. Plant both palms. Feel the shape, and then we'll move to the other side. So now right hand is grounded. Inhale to sweep left hand high. Exhale, thread the needle, dive your left arm underneath your right and turn your body to the right. Inhale to reach up to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale to expand. And exhale, find your hold, wherever feels good for you. Again, take a peek down at your hips. Make sure they're square, hips are stacked over knees. And the twist is coming from the upper spine. If you want more of a stretch, you could always stretch your right arm long or reach it behind your back. Lots of options here. One more cycle of breath. Good, and come through center. If you're using props, this is a great place to have a bolster. We're gonna sink back into a child's pose. And if you are postpartum, take it really easy. I'm gonna bring my knees in a little bit closer and prop my elbows onto the bolster. And let your breath softly make its way down to your pelvic floor. We're avoiding excessive stretching, but the gentle stretch that's provided with your breath with the intra-abdominal pressure is fine. And maybe you use a bolster regardless, and you can place your belly on it. You can put it between your thighs and your belly. Walk your arms out in front of you. And if you want to fold down, this can really help you open up the back body. Breathe into the back of the lungs. Two more cycles of breath. Expand a little bit deeper. Good. Walk back up. Remove your prop if you want, or you can slide it to the right because we're going to take a child's pose with a side stretch. Both arms walk over to the right side. And think about drawing your left hip crease back and finding length through the left side of the ribs, the left armpit, down the lateral line of the arm. Really inflate your left lung here. We're going to move through center and then onto the left side. Option to bring your prop with you. Now sink your right hip crease back and really stretch long through the right side body. Think about your right lung ballooning out on the in-breath and then softly releasing on the out-breath. Good, move back through center. Keeping with our side stretches, let's have a block on either side of our thighs. Now walk your shoulders up so that they're stacked over your hips. And we're in a Virasana, just a kneeling pose here. We're gonna take a few side stretches. So right hand over to right block or to the ground or onto your right elbow. Left arm will sweep up and over to the side. Breathe in here. Exhale, gentle contraction of your pelvic floor and core brings you through center. Inhale, sweep right arm up and over to the left. Exhale, gentle contraction of your core and pelvic floor to center. We're gonna keep moving side to side over to the right. Through midline, over to the left. Midline, and keep going with your own breath. If you want to intensify this, it sometimes feels nice to really extend your hips forward as you sweep your arm over. That is a bit more of a intense option if you want to take it. We'll do about 2 more in each direction. Finish up. And as you do, if you're using blocks, bring them to the top of the mat. And as gently as you can roll onto your side if you feel more comfortable with that, but we're gonna come down into a Sphinx pose. So lowering down onto our bellies and our elbows. Take your time getting there. And from here, think about drawing your forearms back and threading your heart through your shoulders, but avoiding an excessive stretch of your belly if you are early postpartum. So no need to really force that stretch on the front of the abdominal wall yet. Gentle is fine. If you have no other medical things going on, do what feels good here. I'm gonna dip my shoulders in towards the center. Kind of roll out my shoulder blades. You can roll your right ear over to your right shoulder and then left ear to left shoulder. Get a nice neck stretch here. You might want to bend one knee and look over towards your toes, and then bend your other knee, look over towards those toes. Just make this kind of fluid, exploratory movement. It doesn't need to have a name or look a certain way. Just get your whole body into it. A couple more kicks on each side if you're taking that option. Eventually, come through center and then gently prop up onto your elbows again, maybe tuck your toes. And you can roll to your side if that's better, easier for you. We're gonna meet in tabletop again. And from here, it's a really gentle cat-cow. Wherever you are in that, our in-breaths will help us open the front body a little bit, energetically pull our hands back and our heart forward. And our exhale, we'll tuck our chin, round our spine, pull our pubic bone down in between our legs, and press the back of the heart up towards the sky. Inhale into your cow shape. And exhale into cat. Close your eyes, let it feel good. Again, just explore a little bit. The point of these practices is to be really in your body, and that can look like a lot of different things, a lot of different ways. A few more rounds here. If there's ever a shape that feels really good, you can linger there longer, for sure. Otherwise, grab your blocks if you're using them, put them on their highest height, and we're going to step our right foot forward into a low lunge shape. Left knee is still grounded. So right foot is forward, square your hips to the top of the mat. Inhale, sink your hips just a little bit lower. Again, this is your body, your journey, wherever you are, whatever feels good. And then exhale, we're gonna straighten into the right leg a little bit, half splits. And again, that can be super straight or it can be super bent, but we're gonna floss our hips back and forth a few times. Hands are on blocks or on the mat, framing your right foot. Inhale, bend more into your right knee. Exhale, straighten more into your right knee. Inhale into your low lunge. And exhale into your half splits. And then we're gonna take a low lunge side stretch. So you can walk your left block a little bit closer underneath your body. And then right arm will sweep up and over to the left side. And then right arm can come underneath body and left arm can sweep up and over to the right. And then make this a nice fluid motion, side to side, opening up the chest and the front of the hips. Let's do one more in each direction. Good. Blocks go back forward. Right knee steps back to meet the left, and we'll switch it out. Step your left foot forward Ground into your low lunge shape first. Square your hips a little bit. And then we'll floss out those hips again. So bending into the left knee a little bit for your low lunge. And then straightening it out for half splits. To whatever degree feels good. We'll do 4 more. Last one. Option to walk your blocks underneath your body for these side stretches. Right hand planted, left arm up and over. Move through center, around the body. As you open up to the left, extend the spine. Stretch the front of the right hip. Good. 2 more in each direction. And again, you have the option to pause this video, stay longer if any of these shapes are calling to you. Otherwise, we're gonna walk our blocks to the top of the mat, step our right foot forward so we find an Uttanasana, forward fold at the top of the mat. Bend your knees as much as you want or need here. Bring the ground up to you as much as you want or need here. And then hang heavy, dropping the weight of the head down. Maybe taking a little shift of your hips side to side. Look down at your toes, lift them up, separate them out a little bit, and then plant them back down so you feel really rooted here. And then inhale, halfway lift. Straighten out your spine, bend your knees a little more if you want. Exhale, fold. Make it a nice wave-like movement. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. The spine is in continuous motion here. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, round and fold. 2 more. Next, halfway lift, hold it. See how much space you can create between each vertebrae of your spine. Good. Feet are hip width distance apart. Inhale, bend your knees, send your hips back a little bit, reach your arms high. We're in a stable chair, Utkatasana. So if you want, you can bring your feet narrow to the normal stance, but I'm gonna take a nice wide stance. And I'm just personally not gonna sink into it too deep, but you go where you wanna go. Inhale to a chair pose. Exhale, hands through heart center, straighten your legs. Inhale, take a little side stretch. So bend your knees again. Left arm up and over to the right side. Exhale, straighten your legs, move through center. Inhale, bend your knees, right arm up and over to the left. So we're taking a right side stretch. So those are 3 movements. Inhale to chair pose, both arms high. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, side stretch towards the right. Exhale, straighten legs. Inhale, side stretch to the left. Bend your knees, sink down. Exhale through center. Move through this 3-part cycle one more time. Find some dance type motions with it if you want. Just freedom of movement here. Good, inhale, one more chair. Exhale, Utkatasana, forward fold. In whatever way feels best for you, step your knees back. We'll find tabletop again. And you can stay here. You can find your cat-cow again. If it feels okay, tuck your toes and then glide your hips back to a downward facing dog. Keep your knees plenty bent here. Press forward and away with your palms. And then we're just here for about 10 breaths. So you can stay still, you can pedal out your feet, bending one knee and then the other. You can kind of snake-like movement through your spine and your pelvis. but breath is steady and movement here feels good, whatever that means for you. You can take some spinal waves forward and back. 5 more breaths. And then lower your knees down. Have your bolster or your blanket handy. We're gonna move into a single-sided pigeon pose. Now, if you have no medical things going on, then the greater the stretch would mean that your shin is parallel to the front of the mat and your foot is flexed and angle. I'm gonna take the less intense version, which means my knee will be pointing forward, my knee will be flexed more, and my toes are pointed. And you can also place something underneath your right hip here. We're doing the right side first. I don't think I said that. Now, hands can prop up, or you can lower down onto elbows. Sink your left hip down, and then let the stretch make its way into the right glute and hip. I would say if you're newly postpartum, we're gonna avoid excessive range of motion here. I don't want your knee super far out, externally rotated. We don't wanna put too much tension on the healing pelvic floor right now. So this is just great. You can do whatever you want with your shoulders or your head. If it feels good to sway and drop and release, do that. And 3 more breaths. Good. Come back through center and take your time moving to the other side. So now our left knee will be pointing forward, and if you're using props, you can put them underneath your left hip. I like to really prop up on my hands first to make sure my pelvis is in a good spot. Make sure we're not forcing ourselves into a stretch that isn't serving us. And then, as you want, as it feels right, you could lower down onto your elbows. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders a little bit more if you can. One more breath here. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go. Move your way out of this posture. And then our final pose today is a supported Shavasana. If you want to just lay flat on your back, that's fine. If you want to put your bolster underneath your hips for a supported bridge, that's fine. I'm going to lay on my side and put my bolster underneath my knees. So it's a nice little gentle knee flexion. And this can take some tension off your low back. It just feels nice and relaxing. So find what shape is calling to you. You can place your arms down by your side with your palms open to the sky, or you could place your hands, palms down somewhere along your body, on your heart, on your belly. Close your eyes if they aren't already. And let yourself really be in this shape just as much as you are in any other posture. Give it your attention, your intention, your presence, your breath. find yourself holding on to tension, let the layers of your skin and your muscles and your bones just release and melt and drop heavy. If you'd like to stay here longer, please do. Otherwise, take a big stretch, arms overhead, legs are long. Breathe in here. Exhale, open your mouth, let the air go. Drop your bones. Open your eyes. Take in the room. Notice how you feel. Eventually, you could roll to one side. Hang out here a moment. And then come up to a seat. Again, linger. Stay longer if you can. You could also move into a meditation or journaling or listen to music or just go about your day. But I so thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time.